So something I've noticed is that whenever I make a video about an alternative way of living, be that full-time traveling or living a simple life, or maybe like the seasonal work lifestyle, there's always some comments from people who say something along the lines of, yeah, that sounds great, but if this happens, you're screwed. There's always somebody in the comment section who's like, yeah, that sounds good, but if this happens, what are you gonna do? And over the 10 years that I've been like on the internet talking about this kind of stuff, it's just a pattern that I've seen. And I'll be honest, some days it kind of gets to me. And when things get to me, instead of holding them in, I make a video about it. So today I'm gonna talk about it. And first and foremost, I wanna say, I understand why a good percentage of people make those comments. Because obviously if they're watching my content, they're probably contemplating living a lifestyle like that, okay? But they're a little afraid. And so in the comments, they're voicing their fears. Most of the people are probably people who want to live an alternative lifestyle, who realize that the life they're living is not as fulfilling as they would like it to be or making them as happy as they would like to be. But they're nervous. They've got fears. And so that's just them voicing their fears in the comment section. However, there is also a subset of people who I genuinely think want to like scare people who are out there like trying to live a different life. You know, I think there are people who are kind of trolly, you know, and they see someone living an alternative life who appears to be happy. They're not, so they want to try to say things and scare you. And people do this to me constantly. What if this happens to them? What if this happens? What if this happens? And to those people, I want to say, respectfully, if you're scared, stay in your comfort zone. You know what I mean? There's no rules to life. You can do what you want to do. If you were scared and you want to stay in your comfort zone, do that, okay? But you don't need to come out here and try to scare those of us who have decided that like this regular normal life isn't for us and we want something different. You don't need to come out here and try to scare us. I'll tell you why. Because any like risk that you can bring up, anything that you can think of and be like, oh, what if this happens? What if this happens? As someone who's out here living a different type of life, I've already thought of it. You know what I mean? I'm down here in the trenches. Okay, I'm down here in the trenches. Other people like me living similar lifestyles, like we're living it every day. We know the risk. We know the risk, but we are risk takers. Okay, maybe we didn't start out that way. Maybe a year or two ago, we didn't know we were, but we just had this feeling that the lives we were living were not working for us. I had a good life 9-10 years ago. Ben said that I had a good life. It just wasn't the life for me. I just needed something different to feel alive, to feel fulfilled. And so I take the risks necessary to live that life. And I'm fully aware of them because they're in my mind constantly. However, I just put them to the back of my mind and I realize that like, hey, if these things do come up, if some of these things people talk about do come up, it could change my lifestyle. It could. But the good news is most of them never happen. And when they do happen, I use the brain that God has given me to try to figure out solutions and try to continue living this life. But if you're somebody who doesn't want to do that, that's cool. You don't have to. And now for the people who really want to live an alternative lifestyle and maybe in the comments, like I said, they're just voicing their concerns, that's fine. I'm not talking to you. I understand. You know, all of us had those concerns. And what I think will eventually happen is you'll get to that place where you just can't keep living the life you're living. And you'll just be like, you know what? Yes, I am scared of running out of money. Yes, I am scared of maybe having a health scare while I'm on the road. Yes, I'm scared of this. Yes, I'm scared of that. But I'm doing it anyway. And that's why like you really can't scare somebody who's living this lifestyle into stopping, because like we're already living it. We're already facing it. Anything you can think of, I've thought of it 10 times over. I've probably dealt with it 5 or 6 times over. And here's the big thing, folks. Here's something I just got to say. Almost all of the things, I would venture to say all of the things that people bring up that could like really mess you up if you're living a simple life or you're doing this or you're doing that, that if you're doing anything other than the normal, all the things people bring up are things that like affect people's lives when they're living a normal life. Like literally today, somebody was like, "Oh yeah, but if you're living the simple life and then you have some health issues, that you're really screwed." I'm like, healthcare is a joke for all of us. In this country, healthcare is a joke for all of us. I don't know like anybody who's not like a millionaire or a billionaire probably who is like secure with their health. I don't, and even if you are a millionaire or a billionaire, you could get hit with something health-wise that your money doesn't matter. That is something that's part of the human condition. I don't care who you are, health issues are part of it. I don't care how much money you got, how healthy you eat, whatever it is, you could be hit with a health issue, there's no coming back from. You know, when I think about, sadly, all the people I know who might have passed recently or in recent years, younger, you know, who didn't die of old age, most of them, the majority of them, were living normal lives. It's not like I'm just out here burying all my friends who are like doing seasonal work or living on the road or chasing their dreams. No, if I'm being honest, it's been more people living the regular lives. Now, there's more people living regular lives, so of course that would probably hold true, but just in general, health is something we all got to deal with. Another one is money. You know, people always want to come at me, "Oh, Tim, if you weren't living that other lifestyle, you could actually have more money and you could be doing this, blah, 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 blah." Y'all don't know how much money I'm making. So that, and you don't know how much money other people living these lifestyles are making. I know so many people who like, once they started going after fulfillment in their dreams, actually started making more money. That's A. But B, I also look around and I'm like, the average person who's in their comfort zone, living a normal life, is struggling financially too. They might be struggling even more. You know, I'm just like, all these narratives like, "Oh, if you try to do this, you try to do that, it could go very wrong." It's going very wrong for a lot of people who are trying to do it the way they've been taught to do it. There are a lot of people in their comfort zones, in their comfort corners, doing it, following the blueprint that was set down in the 50s and 60s that's totally out of whack right now. But there's a lot of people following that blueprint and they're struggling financially too. They're having issues too. They're stressed out too. So I'm like, what's this narrative that if you try to do something different, oh, it's just gonna be horrible for you? I'm like, it's probably gonna be better. Like, we live in a society where the system is set up. It's rigged so that most of us will be sick, broke, and depressed. It's set up that way. It's set up that way that if you follow their rules, you're going to be sick, broke, depressed, and then you'll die. So why are we coming at people who are like, "I'm not going to follow this system because it's not working for me"? I don't want the outcome that most people get. And here's the thing. Going your own way, following the road less traveled, it is harder, it does have its risk, and you might still end up sick, broken, depressed, or one of the three. I don't know. I'm not saying that it's just this utopia and like, "Oh, if you do this, it's gonna magically make everything okay in your life." No, you're still gonna struggle. My thing is that I would rather die on my own terms, like live on my own terms and die on my own terms, than live on somebody else's terms and die on their terms. So even if this life, so far it's worked out for me. I've been living this lifestyle for about 9 years. It's had its ups and downs, but like, I feel fulfilled. I'm happier. I've done so many things I would have never thought I was able to do. I feel alive. And I hope to keep doing that for many decades to come. But if for some reason that doesn't happen, and one of these issues that people talk about could really derail me, happens to me and does derail me, at least I have the knowledge that I lived. One of the reasons I'm not really that worried about death these days is I got a backlog of memories and things I've done. And every single day I wake up, I know it's another opportunity to do some more. I couldn't say that before. I could not say that before. I can say that now. I can look back on so many things. You know, when my life flashes before my eyes, if that really happens when you die, I'm gonna have a smile on my face. They can be like, "Why is this dude dying smiling?" Because my life is flashing before my eyes and I just got all this amazing stuff to look back on. I'll take the risk. It's not like a regular life is working out for people. I just don't understand. I'm like, are you not seeing the world I'm seeing? Who is this working out for? Even a lot of the people who it's working out for financially are miserable too. Like, it's just, I'm like, bro, like this is my thing. This is my thing. Our actions don't map to our words. So many people is like, the world's burning, it's all over, everything's doomed, it's the end of the world. I'm like, well then, now's the best time ever to do what you want. What have you got to lose if it's all over? If World War III is coming, go travel. If that's your goal, you know what I mean? If it's the end of the world right around the corner, if this is the worst the world has ever been, why are you staying doing the normal, regular, worldly stuff if you think it's gonna be over soon? Get out there and do what you wanna do. And even if it does go horribly wrong, so what? If you're right. Now, I personally don't think the world is over, but I do think we are going through kind of an interesting period. And I think like, now's the time. Now's the time. Once again, if you're too fearful and it's just too much, or maybe you got too many responsibilities, if you got reasons, do what you do. I'm not knocking out anyone who lives their life, but I'm just saying, if you're one of us, if you're one of the people who's just like, man, this ain't cutting it. This ain't working out for me. I only got 80 years here. I'm not trying to spend 45 of them doing the same thing every single day just so maybe I can get 15 decent years on the back end, which makes no sense. If you're one of those people like, nah, I just want to do something different. I don't care if my family gets it. I don't care if my teachers get it. You know, I don't care if there might be different risk involved. There's risk involved for all of us in life. It may just come at some of us differently. You know, for some people living like the normal life, it may seem like they've insulated themselves and they have like this sense of security. And in some areas, they might have a little more, but there's no overall security. Life in itself is uncertainty. And I challenge you to embrace more of the uncertainty, because you know, one of the best self-confidence builders in the world is when you're scared to do something, but you really want to do it. And you low-key know that it'll probably do something positive for you. Not the stuff you're scared to do and you know it's bad for you. I'm talking about the stuff you're scared to do, like some life stuff that you're scared to do, but you know it'll be positive for you. When you face that fear and do it anyway, oh boy, your confidence goes up. Your confidence goes up. You start looking around for something else to do. What else do they say I can't do? I'm here now. You know what I mean? So like, I challenge you. You know, if you've been sitting on the fence and you're like, man, this ain't really, I don't think this is me, but people telling me, you know, scaring me about how bad it could be. Look at what's look at what's happening in your life right now. You know what I mean? And if your life is just super great right now, well, then you've probably got the means and the opportunity to do some different stuff. You're already up. But if your life is kind of mediocre or you might be down, what have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? Start doing the research, start figuring out, hey, what do I actually want to do in life? And that may take a while. You know, spend some time by yourself figuring that out. But then start figuring out, like, how can I do it coming from my background with my financial situation, where I'm at, boom, boom, boom. You can figure it out. You have this brilliant brain. We only use, what, like 0.0002% or whatever. That's enough. Figure it out. Get out there. But, like, we don't have to live in fear because there are some people who are too fearful to do it. That's them. That's their life. You know, if you're scared, stay in your comfort zone. But like, if you're a risk taker, let's get out here and take some risk. Talk to y'all later.